made up any kind of agreement to guarantee scholarships or any of the like, but we do have a transfer schedule that we can kind of look at to see how your classes map onto theirs. That's a small university. Well, small compared to us, no, but a small university north of Indianapolis, about an hour. It's in Upland, Indiana, if you want to look into that. But if you're interested in Taylor, if you're interested in Taylor specifically, please reach out to me so that I can get kind of a head count, because I'm kind of working with their department chair to try to figure something out for you guys. If so, but they don't want to do any work if they don't need to. If there's no one interested, then they're not going to do any more than they've already done. So if you're interested, please let me know.
So Devaney asked in the chat about USI accrediting any engineering programs. They have an accredited mechanical engineering program. They're coming up for accreditation for their electrical engineering program this semester. So, and then the way that works, once they receive accreditation, it's all of the future graduates and even the current graduates are grandfathered in. But they require that you have a full program or full. Mohammed, can you turn off your audio?
Oh, sorry about that.
They would then grant, you'd have an accredited degree. Again, I am fairly certain that they will be accredited. That's almost no concern of mine at all, but I can't guarantee that. So, but apply, and if that's a concern, you need to have backup choices. Okay. But I'm fairly certain that USI will be accredited, and hopefully we'll find out more information about that within the next couple of weeks.
And just a personal side, like he said, like Dr. Richardson said, we know the department chair personally, both of us do. I actually had some time last summer where I got to know quite a few of the other EE faculty, and they have quite a good faculty, and they're very, very nice people, and they seem to know what they're talking about. So I think you're walking into a good situation.
Okay, so some other options for both COEs and EEs, and primarily for freshmen and sophomores, these plans we have worked up. The juniors are going to have to do some, these plans may not apply, but an option if you want to stay at UE, if you're a freshman and sophomore, is actually probably your best option is to transfer to mechanical engineering. And the program director of the mechanical engineering program is working on transfer plans for both COEs and EEs for freshmen and sophomores. But I think that should be relatively easy to do. So if a sophomore were to stay at UE, what are the chances of getting an accredited degree here? I think there's none in EE or computer engineering. It's my understanding, I'll try to get verification of that, but it's my understanding that the provost has made a promise of an accredited degree only for juniors. And that's to hire enough faculty next year to replace any faculty that we would lose. But all faculty are fired at the end of next year. So without faculty, it wouldn't be possible to have an accredited degree.
And you'll be putting yourself at significant risk to stay, because you are going to put yourself in the same situation our current juniors are in, where they cannot transfer or cannot transfer easily.
Yeah. So, for an accredited degree at UE, to me, that means you're transferring to mechanical or civil engineering. Mechanical engineering, and if you're a freshman, you could probably work out an arrangement to transfer into civil. For a sophomore, it's going to be a little more difficult because the civils don't take circuits, okay? But the mechanical engineering students take circuits. So it's going to be a little easier for you to transfer into the mechanical engineering program. So, I can get Dr. Fulcher to talk to you guys. He's the program director for mechanical engineering. If we've got some interest in there. in that, just let me know. And then we have these arrangements with Lawrence Tech. So they're very interested in getting as many students as they can. And so they've actually reached out to us with this agreement. It's not final yet. Our president has said he's not going to sign it until the plan is complete at the end of February. But, you know, their agreement is essentially, they're offering to give you credit for all the classes you've currently taken. And then they're actually going to try to teach out our program as it exists. So you don't have to worry about, you know, substituting courses over into their program. So they're kind of guaranteeing that, you know, if you're a sophomore now or a freshman and you stay on track without failing any classes, you'll be able to graduate in, you know, 2 or 3 years, you know, just like you would at UE. And, you know, they're trying to make sure that your out-of-pocket expenses, so that would be for tuition and fees, are exactly the same as they are at UE. Okay, so that's a pretty good deal. Okay, now where you would be losing is if you're living at home here in Evansville, because you're not going to be able to live at home and commute to Lawrence Tech. Okay, that's up near Detroit. Someone looked it up and said it was like a 7-hour drive from Evansville. Okay. So, but that's a good option. And then another school that's reached out to us that's shown interest in having you guys attend is Valpo. So Valparaiso, that's a little closer. They have, again, and these are schools that have both electrical and computer engineering. And then Valparaiso is offering, you know, kind of a similar deal as Lawrence Tech, that your tuition and fees, your out-of-pocket expenses would be the same at Valparaiso as they are here. And which is implying, you know, whatever scholarships you have, they're going to try hard to make sure that they transfer. Actually, they are more expensive than we are. Their tuition is $6,000 higher, but they're going to cover that. So essentially, they're giving everyone a $6,000 scholarship right off the bat, okay, to cover the tuition difference between us and Valpo. Okay, and that's a high quality school. They've got excellent faculty. The campus, I've never been to Lawrence Tech. I've been to Valpo. Their campus is similar to ours. It's a small campus, you know, easy to walk around. They have a few more students. I think they're closer to 3,000, but still not a huge school like Purdue or IU. Mark, do you want to add anything else? Or?
The only thing I would add is that Lawrence Tech is very different because they are just an engineering school. So that's something to keep in mind. The campus life is quite a bit different than Valpo or UE would be.
So Aman has a question about minors, and he says after this semester he would have fulfilled requirements for 2 minors, but if I transfer, you'll lose the minors. Is there any way to prevent that? The only thing I can think of is that your minors may transfer to the new university. That would be, you know, and they would, I hope, have, you know, similar minors. And I don't know, what are your minors in? I'm on business and something else, but that's to my mom. You can't get a minor degree. You have to get a major, and then the minor goes along with yeah. So kind of everyone has the math minor here, and that varies from university to university, the number of additional math classes you need for the math minor. So, and I don't know what that is at Valpo. It may be pretty similar to ours. And again, if all of our math classes transfer, then you'd get the math minor at Valpo. Another school that has reached out because a former student is currently a faculty member there, haven't received anything formal from them, but that's the University of Cincinnati. So it's actually closer than any of the others other than USI that we've talked about. It's actually 3 hours away. So that might be another option. You could look at transferring there. They're probably the closest school away from USI. Well, it may be a toss up between Western Kentucky and Louisville in terms of having engineering programs. And we have a lot of students from this area that go to Western Kentucky. So again, those schools haven't reached out to us with any sort of official transfer plan, but you could contact their admissions department. I'm not sure if Western has computer engineering. I haven't looked at their program offerings. I know they have electrical. I'm almost certain Louisville has both electrical and computer. Louisville's an hour and a half away. Western Kentucky's about 2 hours away. You start getting there, actually, I think University of Kentucky is probably closer than Valpo or certainly Lawrence Tech. Are there any other schools that you guys are thinking about?
It doesn't look like WKU has a computer engineering program, but it does look like Valpo's math minor is very similar to ours, depending on what classes you took. If you took linear algebra, it looks like you probably would be able to pick that up as well.
I did notice at Valpo, I think that, that I sent out the information that had there was some errors in the stuff in Valpo. It had actually computer engineering, I think in the computer engineering student, but it was for an electrical engineering degree transfer because it had electromagnetics in it, which computer engineers
wouldn't take.
I don't think take, but so and you can reach out to Valpo for some clarification on that.
There's a question about Rose-Hulman.
Has there been any mention of Rose-Hulman? The match is probably not good there if you want to reach out to them. I know that they are looking for electrical engineering students. Their electrical engineering enrollment is down. They are considerably more expensive than we are. They are also on a quarter system instead of a semester system, which makes the transfer of classes a little bit of a problem. How do you match a semester course to a quarter course? They may just, take a semester and say, well, it's equal to a 1/4 course here. So, it's certainly close and it's certainly, a very good school. I'm just not sure what they'll do with regard to scholarships and tuition and things like that. If you applied there as a freshman, though, there's a good chance that they may still honor any scholarships you were given then and be able to transfer in at, whatever scholarships you received as a freshman. Missouri S&T been looked at or talked to for transferring? No. Where is that, Haley? So, if you're interested in schools, Southern Illinois, that's relatively close, right? About 3 hours away. So Missouri S&T is in Rolla. So is that about 5 hours away? So other schools, again, I think you're just going to have to contact the admissions department. Let them know the story that they're closing our program down. Anything in Texas. There are a lot of schools in Texas, but none have reached out to us. Okay. There are schools across the country. So yeah. yeah, I guess if you don't want to go north, is there, that's kind of all I have. Mark, do you have anything else?
Nope, that's pretty much it.
Any other questions? We may try to do this again in a couple of weeks. Hopefully that, I know it's tough to be, you know, applying to these schools and going through all this stuff like you did back when you're in high school again, while you're trying to take classes in college. But maybe we'll meet again in a couple weeks to see how things are going. So I have heard from teachers in high school that say not to go to USI for engineering due to the stigma they have with local employers. Do you know anything further about this, and if there has been enough time since they were unaccredited to change the employer's mind? I don't really know. Okay. So they grew out of they were a technology college for a number of years, and then they transitioned to engineering about 10 years ago. So they are relatively new. So it's going to take some time, you know, for them to build their reputation. As Mark said, I know they've got some high quality, they've got young, dynamic faculty. So, you know, right now their electrical engineering program grew out of a general engineering program. So I think, you know, they have a few more mechanical engineering classes. They may be a little bit more industrial enginering than, you know, we're a bit, I would guess that we're a little bit more theoretical than they are. So, but they are growing and they are evolving. So I expect them only to get better, but I guess that's about all I can say about that.
I can tell you from working in industry that there is definitely was a stigma. I would say they're definitely growing out of that very quickly. And with the removal of EECS from the University of Evansville, local employers will have no other choice but to hire USI graduates. So I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't let that worry you too much, especially if you're planning on staying in the Evansville area.
Well, I know some local employers are already looking out to other schools because they know that we're not going to be a source of graduates. So anything else?
I have a question, sir. So, as junior, we might graduate from our school, UE, right? We don't need to transfer or apply to another school.
That's
because
what the provost says. Yes.
Great, thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay. Well, I guess that's it. Unless there's anything else. All right, I'm going to end the meeting. Everyone have a good night. See you tomorrow.
All right, see you tomorrow.